We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Jimmy Olsen was just there to get some damn bait.
And then leading up to the toddler full frontal that we got.
He looks like Sweeney Todd. Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
Were you wearing your glasses, or were you not wearing your glasses that time?
Not wearing my glasses that time. So then, I'm definitely in my superhero mode for this.
Good, because that way we won't recognize you.
Yeah, the voice sounded the same. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Right?
That's okay. He did. I mean, I actually did notice this time that he does a little bit different kind of voice when he's Clark Kent versus Superman.
Definitely a more confident voice, right? Just a more,
like
less.
He kind of does that.
Or something.
Yeah, he's kind of he's trying to do the nerd affectation, I think, when he's Clark Kent.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, that's fine. This is episode 395, creeping ever so closer to the elusive. That's not the right word. To the illustrious 400 episode. Tonight
to the
we are
voluptuous.
talking voluptuous. That's true. Yeah,
Yes,
that's a good word. Tonight we are talking about Superman the movie, the 1978 Superman the movie. I am Sean Allred. And flying in to join us tonight is Andrew. Those clothes are way too bright. Jimison.
As I was watching, I wondered, I'm sure somebody got cancer from something that they were doing with those jumpsuits.
The sheer amount of tinfoil that they used, Reynolds Wrap must have made a fortune off this movie.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have any lights that were like aimed down. They were all just aimed straight at their clothes. I mean, those things were so...
Absolutely.
It was hard to see the actors' faces. It was so bright. Oh, my gosh.
Well, that's what
I'm sure
happens when you're under a red sun. So
Is that what it is?
I'm sure the cameramen were cursing.
Yeah. They have, their eyes are burned out. Just their right eye because they have to, close their left eye. Sam.
What?
My kids freaked out when they saw the naked boy Vector.
Yeah,
I forgot about that scene.
Right. Wow. So, but Sean, I'm just gonna sit here and put a chain around your neck and throw you in the shallow end and hope that you kind of make your way to the deep end and can't get out. So
okay.
Just so you know.
What's around the chain? Like
see, it would have to see your kryptonite is more it's like heights. So I don't know, a picture of a building looking out of a window.
It could be like a legitimate spider, like just a big spider on there too. I mean, I know I would drown it in the water, but I would still be pretty freaked out.
What if you put a clock?
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I Flava Flav?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Sure. And making her triumphant return to this hallowed podcast is Melissa. How did Clark Kent get a date with her anyway? Apple.
Well, petty.
I mean, like...
No, but you're entirely right. I thought it would. Now I took it as he tricked her because he gave her the note that said, do you like me? Check yes or no. But on the note too, it said, a stranger, right? I'll see you at your house at 8:00 / a stranger. Or I can't remember exactly what it said, but it didn't say Clark Kent.
A friend.
A friend. Thank you. A friend.
Oh, a friend. Oh. But like he said, he showed up for her date or something. He said, I'm here for our date. Did you not hear me knocking or something? Like, that was a planned date, right? Did I miss something? I mean, it's quite possible.
The note was basically, for a good time, show up at 8. I'll see you there. Okay. A friend.
But it...
Which is the creepiest thing, if you really think about it, right?
And totally
Melissa,
out of
what would
character.
happen if they did that? Yeah.
Out of character for what they were trying to perceive him as anyways. Kind of odd.
There was lots of kind of creep factor in this movie. I did
Tons of
not.
it.
Yeah, I was not prepared.
Yeah.
So 1978 Superman, this movie, directed by Richard Donner, and beloved by many. Right? When I posted on Twitter that we were doing this, I got at least one, if not two, people saying this is my favorite superhero movie of all time. To which I responded with, "I will try to be nice."
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have not seen this movie in its entirety. I'm going to say ever.
Oh,
because
really?
There
Wow.
was so much that I did not remember. So either I watched it at such a young age and I've just forgotten it. But like there's a lot of times where I'll watch a movie I haven't seen in 20, 30 years and go, oh yeah, I remember that. Like I don't remember any of the putting Zod and his team in the dead zone thingy. Like I think last week we mentioned this was our movie, and they said, "Oh yeah, that movie has the Zod in it, right?" I'm like, "No, that's the second one." They go, "But it starts with him." I was adamant saying, "No, Zod is only in the second one. No, he's in this one." I had no clue.
Yeah, I was confused as well because I was totally expecting Zod. I was mixing up 1 and 2, basically in my mind, because I think 2 is a more compact movie, if I could say.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure how long that one is.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so I have very few memories of this. Honestly, the only parts I really remember is Superman turning the Earth backwards and jumping off the building and then magicking into his cape and suit. I didn't,
I remember the whole dam breaking.
Okay.
That was my thing because I was always fascinated with that even as a kid. I was like, oh, that's so cool looking. And looking at it now, well, it's 1978 technology that they used in all this, but like, oh, that is such model work. It's not even funny.
Yeah. No,
But
yeah.
Jimmy Olsen was just there to get some damn bait.
Yeah. That is true. He was there for that. All right, so this is obviously not anyone's first time viewing this film, right? I mean, except for maybe me, but yeah.
I haven't seen it.
So you had not seen
never
it before?
saw it? Wow.
I never saw it, no.
Hold on, wait a second. Not 5 minutes ago, you were yelling at me and Sam for not having watched Hoosiers, and you've not seen Superman?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a Superman. I just know. I just never got into it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. So I guess we'll do 5-word reviews. Sam.
All right. So my 5, I've got 2 here. And the first one is visually stunning for the time.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, it just especially the first part of the movie. I mean, because basically you've got to break this thing up from Krypton and then Clark growing up, then Clark in the city to finale race.
Clark in the city. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that needs to be a movie or a TV series coming soon to HBO. Clark in the city.
Yeah. So, but you know what? As I describe it, did we read anything?
No, we're fine. We're gonna just everyone listening knows what this is.
If you don't know what Superman is,
except unless you're Melissa. Yeah.
You're Melissa, yeah.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just plowing through that.
Yeah.
So, all
good.
right. So what we've got here, my one real 5-word review is when DC still had hope. And in terms of what Superman started off as, because they started this movie with the original comic, and the comics of old, and I appreciated that. In today's cynical world, and especially after seeing Doctor Strange recently, and some of the other, especially the DC stuff that have come out, this was kind of a refreshing reminder that there's still hope in the comic book world, and Superman really was that for a very long time. And even though this movie is kitschy and weird some points, and it's still, I thought, especially in the first part, was shot beautifully. The cinematography was amazing, and from Krypton to Smallville, I thought they did such an incredible job. Now, I believe the movie bogs down in Metropolis and kind of loses that almost like a Best Picture feel to it once it gets there. But overall, I had a pretty good time with this movie.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So
Sam, it also does remind us that of a time when superheroes could, just fit into a spandex suit
Right.
and be okay with being awkward.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it just looks like people are carrying fruit in the wrong place. But, to each his own.
What nowadays? The fruit in the wrong places?
No, like the original 1968 Batman,
Oh,
Adam
okay.
West.
Yeah.
And this, the spandex it doesn't do anybody any favors.
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. It does. Christopher Reeve is in great shape. He's also a big human, and so the fact that he is wearing the spandex suit does help. I mean, Henry Cavill is a big human also, and he's also in great shape. But that suit that he wears kind of helps him out a little bit in the.
It's more forgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I could put that suit on and look pretty good, and so it's just.
I heard a story, and I'm really considering this, of a guy, I think local to North Carolina, that just got his chest and abs tattooed with pecs and a six-pack, and from a distance, it looks like he actually is in shape. So I'm really considering.
Yeah.
This might be a next step in our evolutionary journey.
Okay, just tattooing stuff on your body.
Yeah, I think so. Then we could all be Superman.
I like it. Well, I mean, I still kind of want to, only for the sheer morbid curiosity of seeing what the Nicolas Cage Superman would have been, because we've all seen that test footage of him with the long hair and in the outfit. That would have been.
He looks like a homeless person that found the suit in the costume shop and just tried it on when nobody was looking. It's like the janitor was there in the costume shop.
That's a really good point, and yeah.
Well, we all know how I feel about Nick Cage. So.
Yes, well, we do. Yes, we do. Melissa, what's your 5-word review?
I have 2. I said the score is better than the movie. And part good, part really bad. So like the score was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It carried the first 45 minutes because nobody really talked during the movie. Like during that first 45 minutes, it was basically just like score. Here's some random people talking, then score. Like it was almost like a silent movie to me. Like I didn't feel like it was a movie until he got to like Smallville. And then it was better. Like
it was almost operatic.
Yeah.
With the way they dealt with music, especially in the first part, and I really appreciated that. I loved the music in this movie.
I was bored. So, I mean,
didn't get enough Brando.
Have him talking to. I think he likes his own voice. He just talked to himself the entire time.
He did talk a lot. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. But it was just really slow in the beginning, and I think the score helped it, because if the score hadn't have been so good, I think the movie would have really, really just. I would have probably stopped watching the movie like 20 minutes in because it was just so slow. But I don't know. And then leading up to the toddler full frontal that we got,
Coincidentally, that's the name of my band I'm starting up.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know.
Good for
it was just entertaining. I guess I was not expecting that. So
yeah.
You guys could have warned
turtle
me.
Head
I mean,
poking out.
You guys definitely could have warned somebody about that.
Well, I think we probably all assumed that you'd watched it because
Never.
It's an old movie, but also I'd forgotten that it was there too. So when it happened, I was like, "Oh, my daughter buries her head." My daughter's 5, so she buries her head in the couch, and she's like, "I'm not watching." And my son just started to laugh, and he's like, don't look, don't look, don't look. So it was pretty great. It was great.
Yeah.
Like the first time seeing a Nirvana cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So did anybody else watch this with their kids? Because once I knew, I was like, oh, I could watch this with the kids, and we did. Anybody else do that?
No.
They watched the last 45 minutes with me.
So the music starts. My son comes in and goes, I know that music. You have that on your phone. I said, yeah, this is Superman. He goes, oh, yeah. So then he starts to leave. I said, I thought we were going to watch this together. And he says, oh, right. Yeah, we were, weren't we? I said, that's why I didn't watch it last night. Oh, okay. Sure. So he sits down, and boy, did they ask me a lot of questions. Why is their planet white? Why are their clothes so bright? What are those crystals? What are they for? How do they know what to do? Like, oh my gosh, guys, I need you to stop. Just watch the movie. Okay. Why are they sending the baby off? It's like, guys, just watch the movie. Why is he in the North Pole? Seriously. So there was a lot of that.
But seriously, why did they just send the baby off when they could have left too?
Well,
it's a legitimate question.
He promised
he wasn't going to leave with his wife, which was.
He didn't want to incite. He didn't want to incite panic for the planet that they thought had 30 days, which turned out to be about 7 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
So he's a bad scientist, is what we're saying. Is because he's like, yeah, we got less than 30 days. The rest of the people are like, yeah, your science is right, but we think your conclusion is wrong. He's like, well, then I'll stay because I don't want to incite panic. Yeah. Well, and then.
But I would have been like, well, okay, yeah, I'm gonna stay, and then just left. What were they gonna do? They gonna come after you?
Yeah.
Just leave with your child.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, okay, so I'm going to get yelled at by the Superman nerds. And I don't know, again, I'd never read 1 inch of a Superman comic. So I don't know how close to the quote-unquote canon this movie is. And I don't know if that matters to people. Some people love the 89 Batman, even though Batman kills bad guys. And then some people get really mad when Christian Bale, because he's like, that's my one rule. But then there's a scene where I remember there's a scene when Ben Affleck has a gun and people lost their minds. Like, you're not supposed to have guns, blah, blah. So I don't know if whatever, right? So in the voiceover, Marlon Brando voiceover, when it takes the baby 3 years to get from Krypton to Earth. I always thought in the grand scheme of the universe that Krypton was relatively close to Earth, just outside our solar system, just like a neighboring solar system, right? Like Alpha Centauri or something near close. No, he said it was 6 galaxies away, right?
Yeah, string theory, wormholes.
See, I don't care about the fact that it only took him 3 years to get from one planet to another. I'm fine with the idea that that spaceship, that crystal spaceship, had faster than light travel, whatever.
It was a Moravian star. It wasn't really a spaceship.
That's fair. You're right.
Okay.
So, but it is the most unbelievable of unbelievables to think that when Krypton exploded, any part of it landed on Earth. It's are you kidding me?
Yeah.
6 galaxies away?
And then they found meteors of it on Earth.
Yeah, it took. So anyway, literally, I'm okay with the idea. He's an alien, and our son does different things to him, and therefore he has these powers. I'm totally fine with that. I really am. That's fine. But 6 galaxies away, guys. I mean, it's insane. I think Scotty did the whole thing. It's like trying to hit a bullet with another bullet while riding a horse blindfolded. I mean, anyway. Okay, Andrew, your 5-word review.
Can we say sexual innuendo? Excuse me. I can't. Apparently, I can't say it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the late 70s.
Yeah. I know that this movie obviously was targeted at younger audiences, maybe not kids, but it's a superhero. I mean, it's a comic book. And so you make Superman the movie, and it's got to be made for kids. But I was kind of shocked at some of the innuendo that was thrown in there by many people. You know, and as a kid, I watched this movie growing up with my dad a lot, probably 3 or 4 times, maybe more. I mean, every time it was on TV, it was what we were watching. That and the '89 Batman. But I don't remember, and if I did remember, I wouldn't have understood it as a child. Some of the subjects that they were kind of flirting with there. I love the fact that when you do an inner monologue, it has to be a poem and it has to rhyme.
I have that on my list too.
What
Like
in the
a
world
4th grader
were
wrote a
thinking?
poem.
Oh my
That was,
gosh,
to me,
so bad.
I don't remember some of the bad things about this movie because, again, I haven't watched it in years. But when it got to that moment, I could not keep a straight face. I was like, "Oh my God, this is like a bad poetry reading. Well, I need bongos."
Every line rhymed too. It kept getting worse.
No
It
one
kept
inner
going.
monologues like that.
No.
You don't? Wait a second.
No.
No. Okay.
I do
Well,
have some other questions. Superman finds the crystal, the green crystal, which I still don't know whether that was kryptonite or not. I don't think it was, but why do we have a green crystal? But anyway, why did he have to chuck it at the North Pole? Well,
why not?
There's nothing around. Can you not just place it in the ground right there where you're standing? But he had to chuck it and watch it grow from a distance. And then somehow it unplugs the sun for a few minutes and like checks the light bulb and then plugs it back in. I don't understand. I love the statement that he makes that I never drink when I fly. At least we know he's a responsible pilot. When he flaps his wings, he is not drunk. Lois Lane is terrible. Not just, I'm not talking about the actress of
The character
Margaret Kidder.
itself. Yeah.
The character, it's played poorly. I don't think she was the right choice for Lois Lane. I've never thought she was the right choice for that role. But the way that it's written is bad. She gives Lex Luthor everything he needs in one newspaper article on how to destroy Superman. And then Lex Luthor, why does he want, there's no reason to go after Superman. There's no logic behind his reasoning.
Well, eventually he would have to, right?
Eventually, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Like literally, he says, "Oh, he's a good guy," which is, everything goes against everything I believe in, or something like that. I can't remember what he says, but
yeah,
he's just a bad guy for the sake of being a bad guy. I mean, he's a one-dimensional bad guy. I don't know if you noticed this, but again, like I said, I've seen this movie a handful of times, but obviously not all the way through because I don't remember any of the beginning. But this was the first time I noticed, and again, I was a kid probably when I watched this, so I wouldn't notice these things. But his hair changes throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like
all the different wigs.
He's wearing these different wigs. I mean, when he's in the library, he looks like Sweeney Todd. And and that was like, wait a minute, he's got different hair on for different like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it reminded me of the Shrek 4 when Rumpelstiltskin puts on different hair for his moods. Like, that's what it reminded me of.
There's 2 other things, and then I'll pass the baton here. The car flip. The scene where he's driving this remote control car. Lex Luthor's driving this car to stop the missile convoy. It's a cool shot. But you can totally see the device that makes the car flip because it has like this giant arm on the bottom of the car.
Yeah.
That, again, as a kid, I never noticed, but it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Was it
I
Michael
don't know.
Bay that now says, it doesn't matter if you see those types of things? It's
Well,
just
so does your boy Interstellar.
Nolan.
Yeah, like when they flip the big, the truck in the Dark Knight, you can see the canister that flipped the back of the truck, smoking clear as day, but you don't care, right? Like, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
care. So there's only so much movie magic you can do. It's just, they flipped the car and there's a pipe there and whatever. It's,
As a kid, I never realized that those missile convoys, that they were different. I really thought that the Army just changed uniforms and they had a new paint job. I never understood, and I never really understood where that second missile came from. But then again, I was a very dumb child. But until watching it this time, I was like, oh, there's the Army and there's the Navy. That now makes sense.
Yeah, how convenient that they're also, doing the convoy in the same time. And I mean, yeah, if you're going to have a convoy for a ballistic missile, it's going to be more than 3 cops, right? Like,
Not to mention, I thought the ballistic missile actually had to get to the atmosphere to get anywhere.
It does.
And this
All of that
sucker is
stuff
hugging the ground like nothing else.
It's so stupid.
What got me about that whole thing is every time they stopped those convoys, like every single person in that convoy got out and went to the front instead of somebody staying with the missile. They all just like got out and just headed up front. It was insane.
Yeah. Should we
What
stop?
you mean the military doesn't do that?
No.
I mean, there's in a convoy they don't want to protect the the cargo. That's wild to me.
There was just so many things in this movie that drove me nuts like that. Like whenever they're flying in the sky and that bird comes out of nowhere and almost hits them or whatever. I'm like, how is that possible? Like a pigeon or whatever comes out of nowhere and smacks him in the face. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he can't take off a chain around his neck. Like just little things like that drove me insane.
It's like there's times when this movie tries to be art, tries to really, really try hard. And then there's other times when an 8-year-old writes the script.
That's exactly what it felt like.
Right. So I'll give that to you where, there's cinematography that are on par with some of the best picture winners of that time. But then you get Superman 5 feet from the stairs to get out of the pool, struggling to get a necklace off that was, it wasn't even chained to him. It was just draped over him. So,
or how about like when they're still up there flying in the sky and they can't talk to each other, so he has to like air mime what he wants her to do. Like you're literally 2 foot from each other. You can't just speak.
I wondered that too. Like, it's not like they're so high up that they can't talk, and it's not like they're going so fast that the wind is preventing words from happening. Just
right.
Put your arms out. It's fine. My magic apparently extends to you. As long as I'm touching you just a little bit, you can fly. It's fine. Because that's what my wife's asked that. She's like, all she has to do is just touch him and she can fly. And I said, yeah, sure. He's magic. It's fine.
Right.
I always thought that she was purposefully letting go to, I don't know why. Again, I've always hated Lois Lane. Always, since this movie.
She's an
because
idiot.
I thought she was stupid. Because why would you let go when you're flying at 6,000 feet and the only thing keeping you up there is this person who's holding you?
Yeah, you're by your fingertips, right? And then of course she screams the whole way, and it's like, he's going to rescue you. Like,
yeah,
I would probably scream too, though. I mean, I just
I think it would be like okay, hey, you gonna come get me? We good? I don't know. She spent too much of the movie screaming.
Yeah. Well, she's an investigative journalist that didn't know that her coworker was Superman, so bar's kind of low.
I don't know. I kind of hate the damsel in distress trope. It's just
it was overdone.
It's so overdone. Again, she's like a Pulitzer Prize winning investigative journalist that just screams a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. I do like the Amy Adams, Lois Lane. It's like she feels like she's a little bit more in control of herself, and there's a lot less screaming involved. So, the other thing that really kind of cracked me up was my kids, like my son, when young Clark Kent decides that he needs to leave, my son goes, "Wait a minute, he's just gonna leave his mom to work that farm by herself?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess." He goes, "But like he's Superman, like he should stay and like do all of the work because it's it's his mom, like he should stay." And then we never find out what happens to mom. I mean, like did she die?
Okay, so he did
Well, he's
set up
sending
somebody.
a paycheck.
Yeah. He set up
that's
to
right.
send
That's
money
right.
back.
I remember that part. You're right. So she's getting a paycheck, which okay, whatever.
And then he also set up somebody to come help out.
Oh,
on
did
the
he?
farm.
I must have
Yes.
missed that. There was a lot.
Yeah, because he talked about so and so's coming to help. Yeah.
Right. He's coming to help now. But during that whole Smallville thing, if you guys didn't see it, you should go back and rewatch it. Wherever he's running, you should watch it because it is hilarious because the legs don't match up to the body. And I was like, this is terrible. But you definitely need to watch it again if you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, it's 78. I was forgiving some of it. Now, again, this comes out, this is about the same time as Star Wars. And there's a lot of stuff in this movie that looks way worse than Star Wars. And maybe it's like, well, yeah, but Star Wars was Industrial Light and Magic, and this was Warner Brothers, so maybe it's unfair to say, but I don't know. It didn't. I've actually seen worse. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Twilight, that came out 30 years later, looked worse than in their fast running than this did. So, just gonna throw that out there.
Well, we'll say it was as bad. I don't know that it was worse.
I think for what the time was, I thought this looked pretty good for the time. I mean, some of the wire work is fine. Superman flying around, doing his thing, little green screen stuff. It was, again, 78. It was fine. None of that stuff bothered me, honestly. The stuff that annoyed me was, like we've already kind of mentioned, like sometimes the movie is the Oscar-winning film that it is, and then sometimes it's Warren Beatty getting his fingers stepped on. Like, I don't know which movie you're trying to be. There's a lot of... Did I say Warren Beatty? Yeah, Ned Beatty. Thank you. Yeah, Dick Tracy was not in this movie. Thank you.
No.
There was a lot of slapstick, and we mentioned the innuendos and the inappropriate whatever. And did Miss Trench? What was her name? Tessmacher. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Did she ever get her comeuppance or no? I don't remember. Again, I just watched this movie 3 hours ago.
He never turned her in, or at least
he didn't turn her in.
See. Yeah,
because she did help him out of the pool.
Right, but I mean, like, I'm not worried about that. I'm saying, like, did Lex Luthor get his revenge on her? Because she helped him. I would assume that he would have killed her or something because he was going to kill her mom.
No, he didn't.
So she's still hanging out in the pool?
Yep, chilling.
Okay.
She's got that chain.
So is she our hopping man of the movie? She's just she's still swimming in that pool?
Well, she and Ma Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she went to go help out.
Yep.
Okay. So my 5-word review is is that 5 words? Yeah. The OG superhero movie. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, it's the one that, I mean, this movie was so popular that when they wanted to do Batman 10 years later, I mean, they had made a bunch of they made 4 Supermans after that, but, they're like, hey, we want to do a Batman. They're like, we got Superman. We don't need another superhero movie. That's why it was so hard to get Batman made. And my other one, those only 4 words, was slow burn, but entertaining. This is a long movie.
I never realized.
Yeah, Sam, you sent the text out earlier today saying this is a long movie. And I was like, wait a minute. And I pulled up like, oh, this is 2 hours and 20 minutes. I didn't remember that, but yeah, this is a long movie.
Like I said, they could have cut out the first 45 minutes and shortened it to 5 because there's a lot of music and a lot of no script. just
Well,
talking. Just
But as you said, though, then again, it's a lot of really good music.
it is.
But
It's great
and
music.
See, unfortunately, that's my. I believe that's my favorite part of the movie.
100%.
Is up until when we're actually doing Superman stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me, and I know a few people that listen are big Trekkies. There's moments in this movie that reminded me of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, where it's just a lot of people standing around looking at things on a screen with really pretty music happening, and it reminded me of that. And I thought, oh, we hated it in Star Trek: The Motion Picture because the movie is so much of that. Whereas in this movie, it's not all of it. There's just some of it. But yeah, you're not wrong. And the part that it was funny, what killed my son was like, why are the opening credits so long, Dad?
Yeah.
He goes, well, they got this.
Yes.
They got this great music.
I admit it. I fast forward through them.
Yeah,
I looked and said, okay, all right. Here's some people talking, or here's a scene. It was like 10 minutes in.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of music. Well, it's a lot of music. But again, that was the thing back then. Like you had these long operatic intros. I mean, Star Wars is what changed it when they put the credits all at the end. And like George Lucas got sued by somebody. That's a whole other thing. I'm not
The
gonna
Academy.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I don't know who it was.
I don't know who it was either. But basically, like all of the people that work on films were like, "Hey, you can't do that." And George Lucas is like, "Yeah, watch me."
Yeah.
So, and
you said this was a slow burn. If this were a ride at Disney, this would be Spaceship Earth, or it would be It's a Small World.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like you're doing something, and you're seeing pretty sights and colors and sounds, but at the end you're like, okay, that was all right. I don't want to do it again.
Speaking of It's a Small World, I heard recently, like recently, that their ride broke down and there was a group of people there stuck on that ride for like an hour and a half. Like, could you imagine being stuck and listening to the same song in the same language?
We got stuck in Frozen Ever After.
Yeah.
In the very last room where they're singing for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
And I swear I heard that song at least 30 times before they actually had to drain the ride and let us off.
Spoiler if you haven't seen Moon Knight, so I won't go too far into it, but everybody kind of has their own personal hell, and I think that would be mine. Being stuck in It's a Small World.
The only one, our Disney trip last summer, the only one that we got stuck on, and it wasn't for very long. It was about 10 minutes, which felt like way longer, but it was on the Haunted Mansion, and it only felt longer because my 5-year-old was kind of scared, and we got stuck in the graveyard, and so
with the popping heads.
Yeah, so she's like buried her face in my arm, and I'm like, hey, it's all fake. It's animatronic. Look, like you can see the wires and you can see the things, whatever. Like she.
And then you said, "Boo."
She wanted none of it. Anyway, so back to Superman.
Less.
Yeah. So, okay. I don't really know what else to say other than, it was good for the time. Again, like I said, this movie won. It was a very different time. You're right, and this movie won Oscars, and the score is amazing, and Christopher Reeves is good at what he's asked to do.
Yep.
I mean, he is a 2-note character. He's Clark Kent, nerd, bumbling, overly whatever. And then when he's Superman, he's just, he's Captain America to the next degree. It's just truth, justice, and the American way. It's just like, ugh.
Did he have to fake opening the bottle? Remember when he struggled to open the bottle? I that's bothered me today for some reason.
Yeah.
Why fake that?
I don't know. Even a man of that size as Clark Kent should be able to do that.
Right? Yeah. So it just seems strange to me.
Yeah, that's all right.
It was either that or fake his orgasm, and he wasn't.
Okay.
He wasn't too keen on that as an actor, I think.
Yeah. I do think that they cast him correctly, but like whenever they were writing Clark Kent and he's saying like, "Oh gosh, golly gee," and she's over there like basically waiting for a lap dance. It was just kind of off-putting to me a little bit, you know? Like I think he was cast perfectly, but then the script didn't match up to what they were trying to do with him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, because he was like, "Oh gosh," and she's like, "Hey, you want to ride?" And it's like, wait a minute, this is going a little bit too far here for this. I thought it was gonna be like a child's movie, you know?
Yeah. Oh, are
Yeah.
you are you fully functional or whatever? Like
Yeah.
it's.
Are you big?
Are you
And it's
big?
like, wait, what?
Right.
Yes, I have a big dick because I'm Superman. Like.
I think they could have. I think it's a missed opportunity that they could have played that off as a little more humorous on his part for not knowing what some of it was or whatever. But I guess they see, well, he's been on Earth long enough that he should know
Yeah.
anything else that a normal person would know about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. Last few of my notes before we get into some clips. I did write. We mentioned earlier those missiles. I wrote the longest missile flight ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things.
That's because it had to follow the contour of the Earth, apparently.
I mean, I love how like it maintained an exact 50 feet off the ground. Right. It's flying over, going up and down, all that stuff. Like it would never do that. Those things don't have that kind of guidance or propulsion systems. It's not. There's no wings on this thing, right? But again, and also, okay, here's a little bit of bullshittery. Like Superman is fast enough that he can make the Earth spin backwards, but he can barely catch up to the missile. I mean,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. Again, I know people are probably losing their minds right now, but
Yeah,
I don't
they
think
all
time
hate us.
travel works like that either, by the way.
I don't-
Just to let you know.
here's my problem with the time travel. Like, if you're gonna do the time travel, then do it all the way, man. Go back before the nuke hits. Like,
Right.
how many people died besides Lois Lane? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
go back 10 minutes and stop the nuke. You've already, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you go back up far enough and the one that you did detonate into the atmosphere has done that, then then fly down and stop the other one. I don't know. It just
Impossible. Can't be done.
it just that really annoyed me, right? And again, of course, you're going to get into like the paradox, right? Because like, then is there a Superman? Is that Superman already flying up the other one? You know what I'm saying? Like, are there now two Supermen? I don't know.
Well,
But-
and there's a, he's mentioned it at the end. He's starting to realize I could have saved my dad. I could have, if I could turn back time,
Yeah.
right?
All I had to do was just keep going, right?
He
he's
just
got
has
the
to keep
stamina.
going. Because he
Yeah,
even
just-
mentioned, you hear his inner monologue saying, I wish I could have saved, or whatever it was,
Was it
And
a
you're
rhyming
thinking-
poem?
It wasn't a rhyming poem, unfortunately. But
which was
again,
a
missed
worse
opportunities.
Which was a worse way for Pa Kent to go? The tornado or the heart attack?
I think the tornado was cooler
Tornado.
Yeah.
and worse.
I was always kind of annoyed by the tornado because it was like when his dad's like, no, it's okay to let me die saving the dog to keep your secret. And it's like, yeah, but I almost feel like no one would care because, I don't know. It's just that always, there's a lot of Man of Steel that annoyed me. And honestly, that's not really one of the bigger issues with that movie, but
Just because he's hairy.
I don't care that because he's hairy. I don't care about he's hairy. Honestly, the first times that I saw it that annoyed me was when he's like, the waiter or server at that truck stop in Alaska, and that truck driver was a dick to him, and he turned his truck inside out, and I was like, well, that's a temper. Like that's the act of a child with superpowers, and it's like, I don't know, he's Superman. He's supposed to be above that kind of thing, but. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking too.
Sean, I just need to pause really quickly. Listener, you cannot even begin to see this. But Sean, he has this picture frame where he puts all the all the stickers that other podcasts send us, and behind his head there's the Beard Owl podcast, which we love. The Beard Owl podcast, we love Lauren. But it looks like he has an afro of an accordion. It's like a rainbow colored afro, and I've been contemplating whether or not to say anything, and I couldn't hold it in any longer.
Yeah, that's great. It's a little off kilter, but
yeah.
So,
Lauren, if you're listening, thank you for that.
Oh, that's great.
I finally pulled my video feed up. Yeah, you're great. If I turn like this, that's awesome. Okay, yeah.
It's like if Bob Ross and Weird Al had a kid.
Oh my gosh, that's a great distraction. Well, I will screenshot this while I prepare some clips. How's that? We'll let Twitter enjoy that imagery in just a second. But first, I'm going to pull up some clips, and our first clip is again, you're talking about there's not a lot of dialogue. The first clip isn't until 40 minutes into the movie that I captured.
Yep.
And it's none of the main actors. So here you go.
Fresh fruit. Hey, Lee, how about a tomato, lady? Hey, fresh fruit. Hey, baby, how's it going? Hey, fresh fruit and vegetables. They're so fresh, you're gonna can't miss your salad. Fresh fruit and vegetables. Get them while they're hot. Look at these tomatoes. Aren't they beautiful?
There you go.
Yeah, fresh fruit and vegetables.
Did he say get them while they're hot?
Yeah.
Yep, get them while they're hot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I captured it. It cracked me up that he kept saying.
I didn't hear that in the movie.
Yeah, get them while they're hot. My wife and I looked at it and went, "What?" But I also love this. This cracked me up. He's peddling fresh fruit. Check out this tomato. And it's like, well, yeah, it is a fruit, but you know what I'm saying? No one would put those together, right? One of my favorite quotes is intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
Yeah.
All right. Time for some fun Gene Hackman.
It's amazing that brain can generate enough power to keep those legs moving.
Is Ned Beatty's character, is he that dumb in the comics?
Is he in the comics? I don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is an Otis or if he's just.
I think they decided they needed some comedic part of the, what do you call it?
Comic relief.
Comic relief.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they found it.
Yeah.
It kind of cracked me up every time he would come on screen, though. They played that like tuba music that makes them look stupider than they really are.
Yeah.
So
It kind of pissed me off just a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
As a tuba player, I find it offensive every time somebody uses a tuba to signify a fat guy.
Yeah.
It just it hurts me.
Fat dumb
deep down.
guy, but that's exactly what it is. All right. This also cracked me up.
And Otis, by the way, the next time, put my robe on after I'm out of the pool.
I love the noise he makes. Okay. Let's see. You know what's funny? I just realized I don't have one clip of Superman. Not one. I don't have any of Superman.
What does that tell you? Right?
I don't have any of Lois Lane. All of. So here's more.
Everybody else.
Here's more Gene Hackman.
So, there you go, M.
M as in moron, Otis? No, it's N.
Oh.
N as in Neanderthal, nincompoop, nitwit, and L as in ladder.
Ladder, Mr. Luthor, come on right up. I didn't see because I was. I'm sorry, Mr. Luthor. Ooh!
It's funnier on the radio. I'm not gonna lie. My favorite part in that, honestly, is listening to Ned Beatty do his oop ah, ooh, ah, like when he's not saying actual words. Like
As in Neanderthal, nincompoop, nitwit, and L as in ladder.
Ladder, Mr. Luthor, come on right up. I didn't see because I was. I'm sorry, Mr. Luthor.
that's 2 full seconds of that cracks me up.
I want a lair like he has, like a villain lair. I love the look of his villain
right,
lair.
it was awesome.
Oh man,
It was later used after he vacated for the Ninja Turtles in
right?
Secret of the
And-
Ooze.
Is that real?
Ghostbusters 2.
No, it's not real, but it's a subway
It
station.
looks just like it. I mean, I'm trying to think. my wife said something else like that. Like that looks like
Ghostbusters 2.
Is that what it is too? Also,
Maybe so.
Yep.
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where the pink
Secret
ooze
of
is
the
flowing.
Ooze.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We know. We reviewed that movie not that long ago. This is less of an innuendo and more of just like sexual harassment.
Having trouble breathing, sir. What do you think?
Well, I suggest vigorous chest massage. If that doesn't work, mouth to mouth.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant, I won't have one of my men doing anything I wouldn't be prepared to do myself.
Yeah, but sir.
Get an ambulance. All right, men, gather around.
Then he has him turn around.
Where do we know that guy? He was on like a sitcom on Nick at Night. It was like I Dream of Jeannie or Bewitched or something. He was on some because the face, I recognize faces. I'm not good with names.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. We got to find out. I don't know. I don't know who his character is because all these people are like first officer and second officer and third officer.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No. It was Larry Hagman is the guy's name. There he is. He was on Dallas. That's where I know him from. Sorry.
All right. Hey.
My grandmother used to force us to watch Dallas when I was like 5.
Nice.
It would always put us to sleep. I think that's why she made us watch it. He was JR on Dallas.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
JR?
Yeah.
Huge Dallas connection. Oh, all right. Well, that's pretty cool. All right. This was my last clip.
Costa del X, Lutherville, Marina del X, Otisburg. Otisburg?
Who's this monster? She's got her own place, man.
Otisburg?
It's a little bitty place.
Otisburg?
Did you also notice that the S in Otisburg was backwards?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they were just playing him up to be a real idiot.
Yeah, he sucked. But I also liked the fact that he was trying to steal from a blind man and his dog knew better. Thought that was pretty great. Okay. All right. Before we play our game, this is a new thing we've been doing. Our game is sponsored by...
Do you like cute dogs? Of course you do.
We have a cute dog, and we'll share pictures of her if you listen to our podcast.
We are Two Idiots and a Dog, and we talk about movies and other media.
And post pictures of our dog, Kaiju.
New episodes post weekly on podpage.com/TIAAD Media.
You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook at TIAAD Media, and wherever fine podcasts are sold.
So give us a listen. You wouldn't want to disappoint Kaiju.
All right, and time for this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Our new game. We call it, Hey, Did You Notice? I don't know if it's actually Hey, Did You Notice, but it's called
It's like
Notice?
Hey Arnold.
Yeah, Hey Arnold, Did You Notice? This is a game that Andrew makes up where he asks our contestant, which in this case is Melissa and Sam, questions about the movie and did they notice certain things. They will play a game best out of 5 wins. You are asked the question. If you get it wrong, the other person can steal the point. And Melissa goes first.
Yay.
Are you ready?
No, but go ahead.
All right. According to Jarrell, how many known galaxies exist in the DC universe?
Oh.
I have no idea. 17.
Right. A valiant guess, but that is incorrect. Sam?
I'm going to say 7.
I think Melissa should get. Well, sorry, I was going to say whoever is closest without coming over should win.
He makes the comment that there are 28 known galaxies in the universe. Excuse me, known universes.
I don't know.
No,
he was
sorry. No,
he was rambling on forever, so
Yeah,
I just kind of tuned him out.
But it was funny when he said 28, and I thought, wait, only 28? Like,
yeah.
We know of way more than that, but I guess...
In 1978, did we, though?
Well, we didn't have Hubble, but...
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
All right, so are we giving... You're the umpire.
I'm going to give her the point because she was close without going over.
Okay.
We're going to play a little Price is Right rules on that one.
All right. So number 2, Sam, this is for you.
All right.
As Lana and the other cheerleaders are shown driving in the car, what song is playing on the radio?
Oh my god.
I even sang along to it.
I did too.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
No.
No.
Melissa, do you know the answer?
No.
All right, Sean, I'm going to give you I know you're not playing, but I want to see if you know.
I can't remember. I wanted to say, I thought it because I have a cover of it on my phone. It wasn't the summer of '69, was it?
No.
Okay, I can't remember.
I don't know. Rock Around the Clock.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Rock Around the Clock. No points awarded there. Number 3, this is going back to Melissa. How old is Superman? This one takes a little bit of math.
Oh, dear Lord.
In this film, they do mention his age, and they mention some years to put us at his age, at his current age.
It was like 1918, right? Or something in the beginning.
Wow. I don't.
Let's say 60.
He's not 60.
48.
He is 18 when he enters this Fortress of Solitude.
And that's 12 years.
And it's 12 years there.
Yeah.
So he is 30 years old.
30.
When he becomes Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. So the answer is 30. Yeah.
30. Interesting.
All right. So, Sam, this goes to you. After Superman makes his way around in the somewhat of a montage of saving people and doing nice things and saving cats from trees, his good deeds.
Is this the New York one or the California?
Yeah. The New York one.
Okay.
His good deeds are shown on TV screens in a store window. What brand of TVs and electronics are being sold in this store?
RCA.
Incorrect. Melissa?
Oh.
Zenith.
It is JVC.
JVC.
You only had one other American company you could say, so I would have guessed Zenith also.
All right. This is for Melissa. Perry White wants the Daily Planet to be the newspaper to cover all things Superman. He shows his team 4 newspapers covering Superman's story. One of them is the Daily Planet. Name 2 of the other remaining 3.
2?
Yeah. Or I tell you what, if you get 1, we'll see if we can get a point. Sean's the umpire.
The Times and the Post.
That is correct. The
Nice.
Metropolis Times and the Metropolis Post. And the third one was the Daily News.
Boom.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
awesome.
Another point for you. So you're the
Hand
winner.
was way up my rear on that one.
Congratulations.
Yay!
Good job, Melissa.
I need like
Total guesses.
Like a victory
Applause?
Yeah, or something like that. You know,
Do I get like a trophy?
Some
Maybe?
kazoos?
Like a belt?
A belt? No. That would be pretty. That would be pretty sweet. You get the knowledge that you won this week. You already have stickers from me, so
yeah.
I don't think I've even ever won. So
no, you did. Was like 2 weeks ago, I thought, because
you won once.
You made mention that it was the first time you've won. I mean, we've only been doing this like 9 weeks, so it's not like we have like a long history, whatever. Very cool. All right, time for this.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Oh, by the way, we don't have to play the what game this week because I did watch this with subtitles. Much to my son's consternation, he says, "Dad, do you really have to have subtitles on?" And I said, "Yes, I do."
Well, speaking of that, did you notice that there was a place where the subtitles were incorrect?
There's multiple times where they're incorrect. Like like specifically. Hold on. Specifically, when he says,
Having trouble breathing, sir. Ambulance. Hi, man, gather around.
Oh, I didn't capture it. Where he says gather around and then he says about face. The subtitle says turn around.
When they're in the library, they're in his lair, and she says something about the meteorite being lethal to Superman, and Lex Luthor says, "Jawohl," and the subtitles say, "Yeah, well."
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They didn't know he was doing a little German thing there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fun. All right.
So it's the opposite game of what?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called Get It Right.
Get it right, subtitle people. All right. Did I already play the clip? I don't remember.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
It's still funny to hear. All right. We're going to do top 3 Gene Hackman movies. Gene Hackman movies. We've already been told that Melissa hates us because we're not going to pick a certain movie, which we'll make sure she'll probably put as her 1, 2, and 3, which is fine. So Sam goes first.
All right. My number 3 is The Firm.
Cool.
My number 2 is probably I don't want to say it's my favorite, but I love this movie to no end, and that is The Replacements.
Mm-hmm.
And I can watch The Replacements pretty much at any time, and it's just one of those movies. But my number 1 for sheer incredible movie is Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good stuff.
Okay, Melissa.
Number 1, or well, I guess I should go 3. 3, I've got Crimson Tide. And 2, I also have The Replacements because it is one of my favorite movies as well.
Right? Yeah, it's so good.
Pretty much wonderful. And then number 1, I've got Hoosiers because, like I was telling the guys earlier, if you're born in Indiana, they pretty much just pop you out and put you in front of a Hoosiers movie. So we kind of have to like it here.
Yeah, and maybe it would be closer. If I need to see it. It's on my list of shame, apparently.
Oh, it's amazing. If you guys ever review it, you let me know.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I go next. Well, so most of my list has already been said, which is not really a surprise. So I also had The Replacements and Crimson Tide. So I'll switch out. I'm not going to switch any of those out. I love them so much. So honorable mention is Behind Enemy Lines. And my number 3 is going to be Enemy of the State. With Crimson Tide being my number 2 and The Replacements being number 1. So there you go. Andrew.
All right. I have also on my list, and I'm going to leave it number 3, Crimson Tide. It's just such a good movie. I think we have to mention it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Totally agree.
As a matter of fact, that was one of the first rated R movies I ever saw.
Nice.
And I was way too young to watch it because I did watch it in the theater. And my parents were asked by one of their friends to go see the movie. And they were bringing their son, who was like 3 years older than me. And they said, "You just bring your son." So I went and got an education. At number 2, I have The Birdcage with Nathan Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Was he one of the? I mean, was he the one of the couple
in The Birdcage?
Yeah, you had Robin Williams, but then he was the other one, right?
Nathan Lane was the other.
Nathan Lane, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And then I have number 1, The Royal Tenenbaums.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one. So,
yeah, it's a good one.
Very cool. Twitter has given us a few, not a lot, just a few. Again, I didn't get to post it until kind of late, so not really anyone's fault, except for mine. And that is Alan, listener Alan Broadway, says, at Alan2Extreme on Twitter, says, honorable mention, Young Frankenstein, with his little cameo there. And then his number 3 is The Replacements, Enemy of the State, and Superman 2. Superman 2.
Okay.
The Donner
The
cut.
Wrath of Khan.
The Donner cut has, I think, a little bit of that. Because mostly Zod is the bad guy in that one. My Streaming Bubble, at My Streaming Bubble, they were our promo, I think last week, the week before, I can't remember. The Birdcage, Royal Tenenbaums, and of course, Superman. He is my Lex. That's what they said. And Jesse from Open Pike at Open Pike, which is a new Strange New Worlds podcast,
which has been getting really good reviews, by the way.
Episode 1 was great. Really liked it. It has it feels more Trek than Discovery, and I love Discovery, but it just kind of feels more like a new version of old school Trek as opposed to a new version of Trek. Does that make sense? I guess. Jesse says The Birdcage, The Replacements, and Young Frankenstein. So there you go.
Frankenstein.
Thank you for those who participated. I appreciate that. And time for this now.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where we give this movie a score from 1 to 0. 1 to 0. No, 1 to 10. Did I say 1 to 0 twice? 1 to 10.
I was going to say, this is not going to be a huge...
Yeah, we've completely changed. Yeah, no, 1 to 10 is what I meant to say. Yeah, geez, I'm not sure where that came from. Andrew.
We're putting in coordinates for the missiles again.
Yeah.
IMDb has this at a 7.4. I think that's fair, but I don't know that I want to go quite that high as some of the things that didn't bother me in the past now do. So I'm gonna let's say a 6.8, just because I don't feel like being too naughty tonight.
Okay. Melissa?
I have it as a 6.2, just because the score was really great, but some of the just things that should have been thought about a little bit harder before they made the movie weren't thought about. Like,
okay,
just bothered me too much, you know.
Yeah,
all right. Knocks it down a lot.
This is John Williams, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that the music
that's
alone,
why.
yeah.
It's why. I mean,
I did kind of get a Home Alone vibe at some points.
Yeah.
Especially when we had the goofy fat guy.
Well, there's
the tuba music.
The tuba music.
There's a moment where my daughter is listening and she says, "This kind of sounds like Star Trek." And I said, "You mean Star Wars?" And she says, "Yeah, that one." Like, okay, that makes sense. It's the same guy.
Yeah.
Sam.
All right. I'm going to give this a good 7.28 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Decent. And I mean, this sucker was on the verge of being great and amazing until it hit Metropolis and then kind of fell apart a bit in my mind. So I'm one of those rare people that I think I enjoyed getting to that point where I am sitting through all the Krypton scenes and Smallville scenes, and I really enjoyed that part of the movie.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I know it kind of feels like we spent an hour or so just kind of pooping on this movie, but it's still a classic. I think there's a lot of it that still holds up. I think some of the special effects are still good. I think some of the acting is bad. I think Gene Hackman's great in this, but he's just kind of great all the time. But, it's a good movie, and people should watch it. Of course they should watch it. So I'm also just going to give it a 7, which, people are going to say, well, wait a minute, you gave Oblivion last week a 7 too. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I liked Oblivion. You people are crazy. Pointing to you, Andrew. You are crazy.
Yeah. I do a quick question about...
I'm so upset that I was not here to defend that movie because I enjoy Oblivion too.
Well, yeah, you're wrong. I do have a question about Superman that I wanted to ask you guys and I forgot. So now that, it's 2022 and not earlier, whenever Superman was first originated, and we couldn't see through lead, right? As a superhero, his one weakness other than kryptonite was he could not see through lead. Do you feel like now that we know that lead is as poisonous as it is, and we don't use it as much as we did, do you think that if they knew then what we know now, that they would have changed it to something else?
I don't know. I think the main reason why they use lead is simply because we use lead because it's anti-radioactive, right? Like they use lead in nuclear reactors to maintain the radiation inside, things like that. So I think the lead probably stays because I think that there's one of the main points is that his powers comes from our sun. And so there maybe he's I guess radioactive in a certain way. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get into Superman 4 where they literally bring in radioactive man or whatever it is, but
yeah, it was just a thought that I had while I was watching the movie.
Sure. I still find it incredibly uncomfortable. She's like, "So what color is my underwear?" I was like,
"Yeah,
what?" No one would say that. But again,
golly gee, Miss Lane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all right. Well, let me just anyway, lots of fun innuendos. That gives this movie a 6.82. A little bit lower than IMDb, but again, it's a movie. It's good. Go watch it.
Yep.
For the gentleman who said that this is your favorite movie, I hope we weren't too mean and that you don't hate us. But we have to give our opinions. That's why you listen to us. Speaking of listening to us, Melissa, do you want people to know where they can find you on Twitter?
They can. I mean, I don't really post anything, I gripe at video game companies, so.
Sure, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, Melissa is our
griping.
Yeah, Melissa is our video game buddy. We found each other through the internet, not the internet, but through Xbox, and we kill noobs together on the internet. So
she is both our mentor and our inspiration.
Yeah.
Glad I could be your podium.
That is accurate. So, little interjection here. From the time I recorded the episode to the time that I edited the episode, our guest next week had to bail out. So, next week we were actually going to be watching Gross Point Blank with a good friend of mine, Trip Rogers. So, next week, look out for Gross Point Blank. Thank you so much, Melissa, for coming on the show. Go to our website, cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com. There you can find links to all of our stuff, including our merch. Go buy some merch. I'm actually working on a design for a new shirt, so maybe there might be some new stuff in the store for you to buy. Facebook.com/cheapseatreviews, @cheapseatcast. Follow us on Instagram. I actually post stuff there. And I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you what our big news is for episode 400. We ready?
Sean is pregnant.
Yeah. No, that's definitely not the thing. Episode 400 is going to be a battle of the Cheap Seat Reviews All-Stars. That's right. We are going to have 10 former guests come back on the podcast and compete in a trivia competition. We are so excited for this. This is going to be fun. Logistically, I'm kind of terrified because there's going to be 13 people on a stream. We might break the internet. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's what's happening. Episode 400 will be a trivia competition with the Battle of the Cheap Seat Reviews All-Stars. What will the trivia consist of? Well, no, it's not going to be the crazy stuff Andrew comes up with. It's going to be trivia about this podcast and us and the movies that we've done. I'm so very excited for this. I cannot wait for you all to hear it. But that's going to do it for our show. Please leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. Those are really helpful to do. And any feedback you want to send us, you can send us to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com or just, Facebook or Twitter message me, and I will read it on air. Anything you guys send me that's appropriate, I'm just going to read on air. So feel free to do that.
That's appropriate.
That's appropriate. Yeah, I'll read it on air. Any review, anything like that. If you leave us a review on iTunes or whatever, I'll read it on air. I'll do it. I'm crazy.
If you have hate mail, send it to evansc at... Sorry.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, definitely send it to Chad. Because, in fact, here's one. I don't think I've read these online. Let's see. I'm going to do it real quick as we do it. Listen, according to, March 28th, 2022, their username is HFBCHDUSRUT. Okay. Durst. Somebody Durst. Listen up. These guys are an absolute threat Listen for in-depth movie reviews and analysis. They make it fun and entertaining. Plus, they are very knowledgeable about the movie industry. That was a very nice review. Thank you so much. And the man, the Pete, who is from the In the Middle. Oh, I can't remember his name. The podcast. We've had their promo on, but the man, the Pete says these guys have been doing movie reviews before it was trendy and are still at it for a good reason. Fun attention to detail with the intro. I like it after eggs. And a great what? With the intro, okay. I like it after eggs. Okay. And a great mix of movies for all tastes. Maybe the Easter eggs that I do like in the beginning, maybe?
I think maybe he listens to us after his breakfast.
Maybe he does like it after breakfast. So
yeah.
There you go. And My Streaming Bubble, who participated tonight. Last one I'll read. This was back in March 23rd. Fun and honest. They said 5-word review. They gave us a 5-word review. This is great. Funny, enjoyable, and honest takes. Thank you, My Streaming Bubble. That's really nice. So, again, if you want to have your name read on our show, leave us a review and I will read it. Obviously, I haven't done it in a while because those were all from March. So, thank you for you three for doing that. That's going to do it. So, on behalf of Andrew, Sam, and Melissa, this is Sean saying thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you next week for Time Bandits.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.